Okay, in this video I want to show the constraints of these pins to the handle and the cam so that that all fits together and moves in unison. And actually I've got two different pins here. I've got this slotted spring pin and then the coiled spring pin, and I think that's the one that I called out in the assembly, but we'll show you both of these components. Depending on which one you used, you have to use different constraints. So the first thing I'd want to do if I use the coiled spring is I want to get the axis of the overall thing mated with the axis of the hole, and I can apply that, and you can see that then well, it's zoomed out there somewhere in space. Well, maybe it's hiding in there. I don't know. I thought it should be able to see it. Well, now that's an interesting bit there. Let's go back. Oh, there we go. It's somehow I got a value in there. It should have been 0. And there's the pin. Now it's lined up with the hole. Okay, and again, this is the coiled spring pin. So now I'm going to do another constraint, and I want to hover over this axis and let that change so that I can get the other picks. And I want the midpoint, or the middle point of that. And then I want the axis of this, either the cam or this circular part of this piece. And again, I want to make sure that's 0. And we can then go look at this and see that this thing is centered up in that hole. So again, what we did was we took the center point right here and mated it up with the axis of either the cam or the handle, and that makes this piece then centered on both of those pieces. So that's the technique if you were using the coiled spring pin. And again, if I wanted to get that to go back in, I just constrain, hover over this axis, make sure the axis is showing, hit the middle point, and then the axis either of this piece or of the red piece, it doesn't matter, and make sure that's at 0. And then you can see that if we go in and turn the visibility of that handle off, you can see that that thing is centered on that pin. So that's one technique. Let's just suppress this right now, and now we'll go back and look at this. This is the slotted spring pin. Now again, this one's going to be a little different because of the way it was created. I want the axis of this and the axis of the hole, and then that thing is sliding along there. Okay, and then now if I try to get the midpoint of this, you'll note that it doesn't have a midpoint. Even if I scroll down, there's no midpoint. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go to tangent, and I want this face right here to be tangent with that, and then reverse the oh, I'm sorry, I can't go tangent with that face. I have to go tangent with the handle, so I'm going to have to turn the handle back on, and I'll do that again, a tangent, and I want this face right here. I can get it to stay there, and this cylindrical face right there, and then switch that, and then you can see that, well, did I get the wrong, I must have got the wrong pin. Let's see what that pin looks like. Oh, it says 9/16. I should have used a 5/8. So I'm going to go in there then and component, replace, or actually I can just go in there and I can double click that. Well, I didn't want to open the part. Right click, Let's hit edit here once and see. No, that's not what I want to do. I think I can change that easy enough. Change size. I really wanted that to be 5/8. I missed that. And now we can see that that thing's centered up. So sorry I didn't get that right the first time, but that's the way you would constrain that depending on which one of those two components you used. So hopefully that helps.